Hey guys, weekend energy update. Let's get into it. This weekend has some definite hermit mode vibes coming through yet again. You may feel sort of like antisocial, a little bit maybe reserved, or just not really wanting to be super, out there. We have a Venus-Saturn conjunction that is happening, and we also have a Virgo moon all weekend. So, getting some things done at home is probably the vibe. Yard work, cleaning, spring cleaning is a really good way to use this energy. Working in the garden, projects in the house, projects outdoors. There's likely to be a sense of satisfaction that we derive from our efforts this weekend, especially if they're productive and especially if they're doing something to like beautify our environment somehow. So that's definitely a vibe this weekend. We also have Mars entering the sign of Pisces this weekend. Shifting vibes, you might feel that as well. This will definitely like chill things out. And Mars in Pisces is a totally different energy from Mars in Aquarius. So we're going to talk a lot about that in our report for today. And of the 3 days this weekend, I definitely think that Sunday is the day where you're probably just gonna want to like chill, kick back, maybe get lost in a book or something like that. Moon Neptune opposition happening in the energy of Sunday. So Friday and Saturday, really good days to be productive, to get something done. You're going to feel really good about yourself and your progress if you do it. Sunday, relax, take the day off, and prepare for this energetic high actually that we're going to be heading towards on Monday with the full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Libra. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Friday, March 22nd, 2024. My name is Aubrey. This is your astrological outlook of the weekend, where we are narrating the shift of the ages weekend energy update. In this video, we're going to be talking about the energy derived from the astrology that is associated with March 22nd through the 24th. So that's what we're doing. We're going to go in order by days. Let's get into it. Actually, before we start, let's just list out, I kind of did it in my intro, but let's just talk about the aspects that we have going on this weekend that are contributing to the vibe that we may be picking up on and the things that may be occurring in our experience as a result. First of all, we have a Venus-Saturn conjunction. This is something that, I talked about in my equinox video, and it's likely to be coloring a lot of our experiences this weekend. This is coming exact in the energy of, actually it was on Thursday, but, as we start the day on Friday, this is still in alignment. These two planets are still alignment. This is probably a pretty strong vibe that we're dealing in. We also have a Virgo moon going on all weekend to complement that energy. Not only do, Venus and Saturn together give a very like earthy energy type of feel to them, when Venus is our preferences and our desires and just kind of like what we want. And with Saturn there, this is like, focus and hard work and control. It's not the most social energy. Venus is about how we relate and connect with others. Saturn is boundaries, and it sort of like walls people off. So antisocial likely to be the vibe there. And then when we bring the Virgo moon in as well, this is also like a more, productivity oriented energy, getting things done. With Venus and Saturn, this can also be like delayed gratification, our efforts paying off in the end, and also just kind of like deriving a sense of pleasure or satisfaction from the effort that we're putting into things. And again, with that Virgo moon going on there, getting our life together. Okay, this is a good way to use this energy this weekend. And then as we move into Saturday, this is the day where Mars enters the sign of Pisces. Huge vibe shift coming out of some very strong Aquarian energy that we had going on this past couple of months. And then as we move into the energy of Sunday, the moon, moves to the later degrees of the sign of Virgo, opposes Neptune in Pisces, before, of course, preparing to move into Libra, setting up this full moon lunar eclipse on the Aries Libra axis that we're going to be dealing with in the energy of Monday come first thing next week. So this is how we're moving into our full moon energy. This is going to be a pretty powerful lunar eclipse, I feel like, that is going to be having us ready to close the book, to turn the page on some things. So we could sort of feel that sentiment building within us somehow as we move through the energy this weekend as well. But generally, it's just a good weekend. As I said, like, it's ideal for spring cleaning. Spring has officially sprung as of the energy of our equinox on Wednesday. And this is just perfect energy for sort of like riding that vibe, out with the old, in with the new. Like, that's the whole like universal sort of flow right now. So perfect for organization, cleaning, yard work, gardening, planning, planting, doing work outside generally, projects, in the office, in the home, in the yard, beautifying your home or your environment somehow with Venus there. These are things that are going to make us like feel good about ourselves, feel productive, feel successful. And because we've got like this Saturn energy going on, this is like the efforts that we're putting in now, it's going to be like satisfaction that is enduring. You know what I mean? Like the things that we're doing, even if they're small changes or small upgrades or, edits or, whatever, the efforts that we're putting in right now, we're likely to just like continuously like going into the future, like seek like little nuggets of pleasure from them here and there. Like, I don't know, maybe like, the cleaning that you do or the organizing that you do just like really helps you out somehow and just makes things easy, like going forward in such a way that you're like glad that you did that and you like are continuously, thankful for yourself that like you took the time and effort to like make that happen or something. I don't know. That's just like kind of, I feel like the way that we're going to appreciate our efforts moving forward into the future and not just, strictly in the moment when we've got the Saturn vibe as well. But being productive, right? And hermit mode, probably going to want to be home, probably not going to want to be super out and about. However, I will say, if you have like some type of an event or some type of party or celebration or something that you've been like working on and planning for a long period of time, that you put a lot of like planning and preparation into, that happens to be going on this weekend, that will probably go pretty well, or that will probably go pretty good as well. It's just the general vibe that like where we're putting hard work in, or where we put hard work in, is likely to bring some type of satisfaction, pleasure, reward to us in the energy of this weekend. Construction projects also likely to go well. And with the influx of this Piscean energy that we are also moving towards, we may feel or find ourselves in some way like literally like detaching from like the greater world at large, or like the reality around us, and just very much so like immersed in or focused on the task at hand, the job that is underway, or whatever project we might find ourselves involved in this Virgo moon, Saturn, Venus energy. So delayed gratification, but pleasure through the process. This is like energy that reminds me of that saying, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey to get there, the journey to wherever outcome or whatever goal or whatever productive purpose is behind whatever we've got going on this weekend. That is also likely to be, this word that I continue to use, equally satisfying. So there's that. Okay. This is also really, really good energy with the Virgo moon coming through, and also the Saturn Venus, for any type of research, reading, writing, learning, planning, or design generally. And also, while we have Mars at 29 degrees of Aquarius, very last degree of Aquarius with our Martian energy on Friday, we might also find ourselves as like somehow part of whatever work that we're doing, or what we're immersed in, or the project, or this, that, or the other that we have going on, maybe in our state of hermit mode. What we're driven to do might be somehow unusual, or like a little bit different, or just kind of like out of the ordinary for us. But whatever it is likely to be sort of all consuming when we've got this energy going on, losing ourselves in the moment, very focused on the task at hand. And again, this is because we have this Piscean energy going on. We're talking about, the Venus and Saturn conjunction, yes, but also in the sign of Pisces, which is like the dream state, which is, the imagination and the fantasy, and just generally like being a bit disconnected from reality. So we literally, on this like hermit mode vibe, could find ourselves just very caught up in like our own little world of the task at hand, what we're focused on. But for some reason, we might just be deriving a greater sense of like pleasure out of the work itself moving through the the weekends. Make plans on how you want to achieve your dreams, achieve your goals, generally like get what you want moving forward in the energy of Friday. That is supported as well. Now let's talk about Saturday as we move deeper into our weekend. Saturday is the day where Mars will change signs, move from Aquarius into Pisces. This is definitely an energetic shift. Like I said, Mars in Aquarius, this is a very hypercharged energy. Mars in Pisces disengages. This should slow things down, cool things down, like chill things out to some extent. But Mars in Pisces tends to go two ways. Pisces is a sign that represents itself through polarities, through oppositions. The glyph itself is two fish swimming in opposite directions. So when we're dealing in Pisces energy, there are generally two distinct octaves through which this energy has a tendency of manifesting. And Pisces energy, when we're dealing with greater Pisces themes at large as well, this is also an energy that breaks things down. Pisces, ruled by Neptune, Poseidon, the Lord of the Seas, this very, very deep watery sign, 12th sign of the zodiac. Pisces energy is where we disengage from the physical world and reemerge ourselves in the spiritual world, the invisible planes, all that is. And as a result of that, it is just an energy that erodes things, that dissipates things, that can disassociate from things as well. And when we're talking about Mars energy, this is on one hand the ego, this is also the energy body, this is our behavior, this is our activity, this is our motivation and our willpower. And when we have that coming through in the sign of Pisces, this is just generally, regardless of the fish that is swimming, right? Regardless of the direction or the octave or the polarity through which the Pisces energy is manifesting, it's probably going to bring lower physical energy over this next couple of months, because again, like it breaks down the energy body, like it lowers physical energy levels when we have Mars in the sign of Pisces. So if you're feeling a bit like, lackluster or sluggish or drained, just kind of like lacking the motivation to act or to do things over this next couple of months, that could be why. Now let's talk more specifically about these two octaves that this Piscean energy has a tendency of manifesting in. On one hand, okay, this is a very highly spiritually oriented energy, right? Pisces energy, this is where we come back into union with the divine. So when we have Mars, our energy body, where our action is oriented, what we're motivated by in the sign of Pisces, this is an energy that has a tendency to be motivated by compassion, by like the Christ consciousness type of energy, by surrender to the divine will in some way. This is an active pursuit of spiritual connection, seeking to embody spiritual truths in the physical world. This is the embodiment of spiritual principles represented physically. And that is what is motivating us when we have Mars Pisces energy, the spiritual warrior archetype and the monk, okay? That's one way that this energy manifests. The other side of this energy is passive aggressiveness. Pisces is a sign that doesn't face reality, right? It's not direct. This is very indirect, passive aggressive use of energy, deceptive actions as well. The other side of the Piscean energy is illusion, okay, is like fantasy, okay, is, that which is not necessarily real. So when we've got Mars, our action happening in the sign of Pisces, this can manifest as, not straightforwardness, deceptive, manipulative actions and stuff like that, and also avoidant behavior. So on one hand, the monk. On the other hand of things, this is also the con man energy, okay? There will probably be an emphasis over this next couple of months. It takes Mars about 2 months to transit any sign, because Mars, it takes about 2 days to transit any degree. So we're looking at a 2-month period, Mars in Pisces. This is also probably going to put some type of an emphasis on spirituality, religion, and belief systems. We could see increased conflict, fights, and battles over religion, ideology, beliefs, and stuff like that, both on a small scale and large scale as well. And this is generally because when we're talking about Mars in the sign of Pisces, Pisces is all about, how we connect to a higher power, right? And Mars, this is the ego. So when we've got our ego, which is the self, and the energy that's associated with our beliefs, there's a real personal identification with the beliefs that we hold. So if we feel like in any type of a way our beliefs are being attacked or slighted or like not validated or, just not acknowledged properly in any type of way, this can cause people to have, Mars, right? Hyper aggressive reactions to it, hyper defensive reactions to it, because we're actually reacting to, a personal attack, not just, somebody's difference in opinion about beliefs somehow. When we've got Mars, the self, the ego in the sign of Pisces, our beliefs, we are our belief systems. We are what we believe, okay? When we've got Mars and Pisces, and if, you've got a problem with it, I may be willing to go to war to defend my beliefs, all right? That is a vibe when we have Mars and Pisces. So, that could be something that is more prominent, personally in our own little microcosm or macrocosm world stage over this next couple of months. Mars in the sign of Pisces, this is also, angry seas, right? This is the, very watery ocean sign, Neptune, Poseidon, Pisces, fire and water as well, Mars being the fire planet, boiling point, very heated emotions. However, though, this is not a direct attack type of energy, people. Even if there are some, very just brewing emotional situations that are going on within us in the fire, water energy, it's likely to come out in more of a passive aggressive, indirect way. So we've got that. So we're dealing in, on one hand, monk energy. On the other hand, this is the con artist vibe, both equally probable right now. A third archetype that I think of when I think of Mars Pisces energy is like the dreamer, okay? But we really want to be careful with what we are buying into generally with Mars in the sign of Pisces, and especially like what we are kind of like being compelled to act upon. Again, this is energy that can it can deceive us into taking some type of action based on a lack of truth or understanding, on our part, okay? Especially if it has to do with spirituality, religion, mysteries, ideals, and things like that. The dreamer, this can be like a pipe dream type of energy, but it's deception season as well. And, I think scams, fraud, false pretenses, things appearing to be and being sold as something that they, aren't truly, could be just a more prominent or relevant experience, even, just in terms of things happening broadly over this next couple of months. So that to me is kind of like the T on Mars in Pisces. On one hand, the spiritual warrior archetype, this embodiment of, the Christ consciousness and the spiritual truths, the monk energy, but on the other hand, the con man, manipulation, deception, just taking advantage also. There's a strong ability to act with appearances of compassion and empathy. That's why it makes me think of like cult leaders and stuff like that when we're dealing with Mars and Pisces energy as well. So just something to be aware of. Don't necessarily buy everything that everyone is selling, and just be, maybe a little bit extra skeptical about stuff as we're moving through this next couple of months. And you may feel this shift on Saturday, honestly, because this is, a pretty palpable change from the air-based Aquarian energy that just sort of frazzles everything and has us elevated like a couple inches above the ground, really trying hard to stay grounded, really hard to like cool your jets, you know what I mean? And then as we move into the Piscean energy, this is like, if you're thinking of like an inner tube or something like that, like I feel like this like pulls the plug on the inner tube and just like all the air kind of comes out and it just like kind of sinks a little bit to the ground. We just want to like chill out. Like it's definitely likely to diminish physical energy levels. This is a great time, if you want to start like a yoga practice or a meditation practice, or any type also, over the next couple months, you may not feel like your normal, like even in terms of workouts and stuff, like going to the gym, this is a period where we're better to sort of just like stretch and, walk and not put like not expect ourselves perhaps to be able to perform physically to the levels that we can when Mars is not in a sign that is just, it just is, it's not that it's bad. It just seeks a different physical expression. Like I said, this is really, really good energy it's also like martial arts. Okay. Like martial arts, like especially the more, slow paced martial arts, like Tai Chi. I'm not an expert. I don't know. Like Aikido, but also like, dance and swimming. Also Mars and Pisces, excellent swimming energy. I bet a lot of like really good swimmers have natal Mars and Pisces energy. It just goes together and makes sense. But, just walking, like moving meditations and stuff like that, and meditating generally. And like I said, with the energy coming through this weekend, any type of lifestyle change that you were trying to make to, maybe be more mindful or be more meditative or be more, even like getting more organized, shifting patterns and behaviors as well to incorporate spirituality and spiritual practices more in our daily routines. Super supported right now. I've been like looking for that combination of words for a while in this report, and I'm glad it finally came right there. But that is just that is something that this energy is likely to just inherently bring. So if you feel yourself just being more inclined towards the spiritual side of things and like wanting to kind of, immerse yourself that way over this next couple of months, that's what this is primed for as well. Aside from the whole like, deceptive actions and be extra skeptical and all of that. So just to recap, we got a great hermit mode weekend going on again here. Be productive in a way that makes you feel satisfied. Put in work to improve the appearance of things, reschedule, reorganize, create new habits and routines that you feel like are going to like free you in some way to be more productive or, to make your efforts pay off better or something moving forward. We also and it is also this delayed gratification and lasting satisfaction energy based on the efforts that we're putting in right now as well. Something that I haven't said yet, but I do need to bring up, we are in black moon energy this weekend as well. The black moon is in Virgo right now. The black moon operates in polarities. Whenever we have the moon in the sign where the black moon is or opposing the black moon, this activates and triggers the black moon energy a lot of times. So we could be also like finding ourselves feeling maybe a bit triggered this weekend by maybe a lack of perfection somehow, or lack of preparedness, or a lack of planning, or not being satisfied with maybe something that we've been working on or some way, something like that, maybe dealing with some shadow side issues. But don't be too self-critical if you can help it in the energy this weekend. Work on ways to change it. Use the energy to, reorganize, re-strategize, regroup somehow. Do something that you can feel was productive, that you can feel good about to turn things around. Don't just, dwell in the negativity. If you're, having the feelings of failure with Saturn there as well, this is also like being very perhaps judgmental of our relationships or of, our financial situation or of our creative pursuits and endeavors. We don't want to be like super negative and super hard on ourselves with the black moon and the Virgo and the Saturn, because it can really manifest that way as well. But, if you are feeling that way, getting ourselves out of that rut by getting into something that we can feel was productive and, the satisfaction derived from that is the antidote to perhaps the more critical oriented, judgmental oriented nature of the energy as it's coming through as well. And then Sunday, moving into Sunday, the moon ends its transit of Virgo, moving through the late degrees of Virgo, preparing, of course, to enter Libra for the full moon lunar eclipse that's coming up on Monday. But Neptune right now in the very late degrees of Pisces, so we'll have a moon-Neptune opposition. We are out of the like hard work, productivity pays off for the most part energy on Sunday. That's the vibe. Friday, for sure. That's the vibe. Saturday as well. well. But Sunday with the moon Neptune opposition, like literally give yourself a break if you can. Don't push it too hard. This is a really good day to you know, take an extra afternoon nap or sleep in late or read a good book, you know, do like a movie marathon or something like that, or even be out or around, out on or around water with all this Pisces energy and specifically the moon Neptune opposition. Listen to or play music. You know, great day to just chill out, decompress, and escape reality for a while. That's probably going to be the vibe anyways. Like I said, this whole weekend is really about like kind of like getting in our own little world and improving it and securing it and making upgrades to it, getting some things done, feeling good about our progress, but not necessarily like interfacing with like the larger world as a whole and like all of its issues, okay? Of course, when we've got a Virgo moon opposing Neptune and Pisces, this can bring up misunderstandings. This can bring up miscommunications. This is definitely probably going to be more of a low energy, physical energy again, like especially also with now with Mars and Pisces, this dreamy vibe. So of all the days this weekend, this is not necessarily when you want to be doing the planning, the organizing, the working, all of that, because we can just be like caught in a kind of like a bit of like a brain fog, laying around, chilling out, daydreaming, stuff like that is where we're more oriented with this energy. Things could seem sort of like fuzzy and non-linear as the moon Neptune energy comes in on Sunday. So take it easy, you guys, and I would recommend that anyways, right? Because then come in the very next day, the moon hits Libra, starts activating our Aries planets, which is going to bring another vibe shift because, you know, all the Pisces energy, this is the daydreaming, resting, sleeping, rejuvenating, decompressing type of vibe. But once we get into the Aries Libra energy, that's like go, go, go. And we're talking, of course, about this full moon energy. And like I said, the whole vibe right now is out with the old, in with the new. So the more you can consciously create that actively in your life, you're working in harmony with the universal flow right now, and you're less likely to experience universe doing that for you without necessarily your condoning it. Okay, so that's basically what I have to say, you guys, about the energy this weekend. I like this weekend. I think it's a great weekend I mean, it's perfect falling right on our spring equinox. Just go ahead, out with the old, in with the new, do the spring cleaning, get rid of what is taking up space and the old musty crusty energy and make room, you guys. Big changes are coming in April. We need to get rid of everything that is associated with what we are not anymore and open ourselves up, create space, create that energetic void so that we can pull in, so that we can magnetize to us that which is going to be supporting us in our new chapter on this next phase of our journey and you know, who we're in the process of becoming now. So that's what I have to say, you guys, for the energy of our weekend. Should be a pretty good weekend. Don't be too hard on yourself, right? You know, if you feel like things aren't working, do something that you can make work, even if it's something really small, and that will start to shift the energy more and create momentum in your favor and maybe change the vibe for you a little bit. Let's get a synchronicity card now. God, Spirit, Universe, what's a good piece of advice for us to keep in mind this weekend as we're going through this energy? This is really, you know, we are in a period, even though we just had our equinox, with this full moon lunar eclipse in Libra, that is like the end of the end of the end of something. We're in a very, very strong period of release right now. Pisces energy is also about release, right? Release and surrender. So we are surrendering things this weekend, moving into next week, and preparing, like I said, creating space to bring in what is next for us. It says, don't help too much. This is our advice for the weekend. These ye ought to have done, and do not leave the other undone. Luke 11:42. It is fine and good to help another, but do not leave undone the job of giving him the wisdom to become aware of the powers of his mind. Do not fail to teach him that with knowledge of the power of God, he will never do without a roof over his head, a meal, or any other thing that he desires when he learns to use the powers of his mind. Help given too easily robs robs one of his self-respect. The best way to help another is to teach him to stand on his own 2 feet, teach another of God and the source of all supply, then you will have given the best help possible. Teach him to look to God for help. So, all this energy that we're moving into right now, this is a very self-focused energy. I continue to say the best way that we can help other people right now, the best way that we can really, sort of like make an impact if we're trying to show somebody the way is to lead by our own example. But this is just, the basic concept that it's better for people to know how to do things for themselves than to constantly enable them to not know by doing things for them. So, we are getting our own jobs done this weekend. We are probably, like I said, also feeling more antisocial in sort of like our own shell a little bit more. And that's what this is saying. That's okay. Don't help too much. Focus on what you need to do. If somebody requires your help, don't do the job for them. Show them the same process perhaps that you walk to figure it out, and let them do it themselves. And as we move into this Aquarius energy, that is also an important lesson. And this is something that we are all going to be dealing with, I feel like, on some level moving throughout the course of this next 20-year Pluto in Aquarius transit, because it is about learning to trust ourselves. It is about learning to, be more resourceful, be more independent, to, need to surrender our power to, safety nets and stuff like that less. So I'm going to stop talking now, but that's the vibe, or that's the advice that we have going on for this weekend. So that's what I'm going to say, you guys. I hope that you have a beautiful weekend. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, you guys. Share it with your friends if you think that they would also enjoy this type of astrology content. Leave me comments. I appreciate you guys. I'm so grateful for your presence here. If you are having experiences that align with what I'm talking about in these videos, please let me know in my comment section below. If you want to know what's on these whiteboards, I have a Facebook group in my description box below where I generally post them. I haven't posted them last week because I've been like all over the place, super busy, but that's where you can find those. And Janice Shellman, she also posts the Synchronicity cards. She's the creator of the Synchronicity cards. She posts them in my Facebook group as well. So if you want a closer look at those, that's where you will find them. And come back with me on Monday, you guys. We will have a full moon. I mean, we know we are having a full moon lunar eclipse that is going to be happening in the sign of Libra, and I will be here to talk about it. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it. I will see you next time. You guys have a really beautiful weekend, and until then, bye.